right. Gather around, friends. Let's talk weather. Good evening. Carson Meredith with you on this Saturday night, the first Saturday of February, right? Yeah, it's the 7th. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good weekend so far. Busy weekend, right? With everything happening. You can watch on Wave and NBC. The Olympics right now looks like they're on. Of course, big game tomorrow night around this time. But the weather never stops. And we've got a little bit to talk about over the next 10 days. When do we not have something to talk about over the next 10 days, right? The near-term focus is going to be a few flakes for a very few of you tomorrow morning. Not a big deal. Not everybody's going to see flakes, so don't get mad if you don't see flakes in the morning, but some of you will. We'll talk about where and when. And then we'll look ahead to the thaw next week and the rain chances that come with it, and if there's any kind of a wintry mix potential we got to worry about then as well. So let's just jump right in, shall we? We'll get you outside to downtown. The junction, humming right along. Nice day. At least it looked nice, right? Had lots of sunshine, lots of blue sky, but it was a cold sunshine for sure. Our current temperature in Louisville is 24. Thankfully, that wind has relaxed a little bit. It was blustery this morning, especially. Had those gusts around, I think I saw 32 miles an hour at SDF at Ollie International. So it was definitely a breezy, cold day, but it was nice to see the sun. And even though we were below freezing all day, I do think that direct sunlight maybe allowed for a tiny bit of melt, even though we were below freezing. But obviously we got a ways to go to get all that snow out of here, right? And the ice too. Elsewhere, we've got 23 in LaGrange and Shelbyville and Bardstown and more. It's 18, however, up towards Madison, Indiana. Hello to our friends in Jennings County, North Vernon. You guys are now down to 16. It's 18 in Seymour, 19 in Bedford. The warm spot looks to be E-Town. Where we're checking in at 27 tonight. Now, technically, the record books are going to say that today's high in Louisville was 36. That's because we hit our high around midnight last night. That cold front moved through overnight, kept us in the 20s all day. Radar is nice and quiet, clean sweep. Nothing to talk about for now. Let's zoom things out. We'll go to the Great Lakes. And oh, looky, what do we have here? What do we have here? On the backside of this trough that's going to be scooting off the East Coast in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to have this, I guess you could call it a clipper. It looks like one, but it's really just a band of light snow that's out across mostly Wisconsin at the moment. Now, over the next 12 hours, that little band of snow is going to dive southeast, close to us. The question is, where exactly is that band of snow going to go? And the general thinking all along, and still is to have that band of snow basically go across western Ohio and eastern Kentucky, and parts of West Virginia too. However, there have been some high-res models today that have tried ever so slightly to jog this thing more to the west, which would make it less of an Ohio issue and more of a Kentucky issue. And that would open the door for maybe some of you to get flurries, especially north and east of Louisville. So it's really those of you that live east of I-65 and north of I-64, kind of that quadrant of wave country that could see a few flurries Sunday morning. And I want to emphasize it's likely going to be flurries for us because most of that light snow band is going to stay just to our north and east. But we may get clipped by it just a little bit. So we'll keep that small chance for at least a few flurries as that scoots through here in about 12 hours. Tonight's fine. Clouds are moving in with that system on the way. But even so, we'll bottom out in the teens overnight tonight. Night teens are forecast low. Most of us will probably be in the low 20s when you wake up Sunday morning. So we'll see those temperatures climb a tiny bit through the night. For Sunday, it's only a 20% flurry chance north and east of Louisville. So that northeastern part of wave country. Let's just jump to Futurecast. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this zone right here. So there's 65. Here's 64. If you live in this little area, it's North Vernon, Madison, Carrollton, Newcastle, Eminence, Frankfort, Bedford, Kentucky, our friends up in Trimble County, you guys have the best chance to see a few flakes out of this little band of snow tomorrow morning. To be more specific on the timing, let's say 5 a.m. to noon. 5 a.m. to noon. And again, guys, it's just flurries, but I know you Bots fans need some snow to talk about. So here we go, 5 a.m. Notice how this band, by and large, stays to our northeast, stays up into western Ohio, into eastern Kentucky, out near Ashland, Moorhead, Pikeville, Kentucky. But there could be a little jog to the west, just enough to where this corridor I'm circling could get some flurries. There'll be a really sharp cutoff between whoever sees snow, those that just see flurries, and those that could get a quick 1 to maybe 2 inches of snow out of this. I'm not expecting 1 to 2 inches of snow for us. If anything, it would be that this band kind of hugs us a little bit more. It wants to go just a little further west, and a few of our counties could get some flakes. That's it. Not a big deal, but it's enough to at least mention it. All right. Here's 8 a.m. Still seeing that band mainly to our north and east. There you see a couple of those flurries towards the end of that 5 a.m. to noon window. And then it's gone. And that's it. So 95% of you will stay dry tomorrow. There's a chance 5% of you could get some flurries. So just wanted to mention it before we talk about our thaw as we head into the week. All right, let's pause Futurecast there and let's go to the comments for the first time tonight. Who's here? Who's here? Hi, Clayton. Hello, Crispy. We're doing good. Hope everybody's doing good too. Blue, hello. Cinderella471 on YouTube. Happy Saturday night. Happy winter. Yes, indeed. Hello, Weather Geek. Yes, we are still frozen. Hi, Melanie. Hope you're good up in North Vernon. Hopefully all that made sense for any flurries you might see up in Jennings County in the morning. Hello. Will this warm weather finally help side roads? Driving is still a pain. Yes. For those of you that have not had any treatment on those roads the last couple of weeks, you will finally get some help thanks to all this melting we have on the way this week. Let's see. Crispy, hoping the driveway will melt tomorrow, Monday, so we can finally get some drywall delivered. 80 pounds of salt today, another 80 tomorrow. Whew. Man. Shout out to Bedford watching. Let's see. Anthony, kids have school Monday. Yeah, I would say so. I think any schools that were still on NTI or were on snow days on Friday will be back on Monday. Maybe on delayed starts, depending on how much snow melt we get tomorrow. But I'm fairly confident most, if not all, districts will be back in the classroom across the region on Monday. Amy, I'm with you. I need this ice nonsense out of here. Get all this snow, sleet, ice mess gone. That's the big problem. It's so wild how this is similar to last year, where we had a big winter storm in January. Yes, I know a lot of you didn't get as much snow and sleet as you thought, but nonetheless, 2 weeks later, you guys are still talking about your driveways being sheets of ice, right? It's just so fascinating to me how last year we had the snow sleet combo. It all compacted, and it took weeks for it to go away. And here we are again in the same boat. I didn't put the graphic in tonight. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Yeah, here we go. Today was day number 14 in a row with snow on the ground officially at Louisville International Airport. So 2 consecutive weeks. Makes sense. 2 weeks ago tonight was when that winter storm was hitting us. This, by the way, is the longest consecutive stretch we've had of snow on the ground in Louisville since, I believe, January of 2001. So it's been 25 years since we've had this much snow on the ground for this much time. So this does not happen very often. The haters will say, oh, it's winter. What do you expect? Well, we don't expect to see 2 weeks in a row of a snowpack very often, right? But just gives you an idea of just how intense this Arctic blast has been over the last couple of weeks. Let's see. Hi, Michelle. Hope you're well. Braden, how we doing? Wavy's had a nice restful day for the most part. He was a little busy with that wintry mix yesterday, but he's getting some good rest today. Yes, Michelle, some snow and ice is melting. There are some icicles out there, so keep that in mind, especially if you got like an overhang on your porch and you look up and you see those icicles. Be careful. They might fall, and that would be not good. So just be careful if you see any icicles around. Yes, Dale, you're right. Snow is technically ice. I meant kind of that mix, right? Jean, hello. Alicia, hi. Hey, Shonda, how we doing? Lori, Anita, hello. My man Jerry on YouTube. Best news I've heard in 2 weeks, right? I think that's where we're all kind of at this point. So let's talk more about the snow melt, and then I'll get back to your comments as we wrap things up tonight. So let's go through the next 3 days, because we will be back above freezing in most locations tomorrow. Not by much, but it counts, right? 34 is our forecast in Louisville tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday, obviously. Some of you further to the north and east that may get those flurries early in the day could wind up staying just below freezing at like 30 or 31. But most of us will be topping out, into the mid-30s as we go through the day on Sunday. Now, the problem with tomorrow is we're going to have a lot of clouds. Those clouds are moving in now, and they're really not going to break up tomorrow. We'll likely have more clouds and sun throughout the day. So that hurts the snow melting a little bit. Even so, with those temperatures just barely getting above freezing, I would expect at least a little bit of snow melt. Not much, a little bit. Monday is when the big time melting begins. We got a high of 47 Monday, a mixture of sun and clouds. Right now, the forecast looks pretty dry, although some high-res data is trying to squeeze out a couple sprinkles Monday. I put in a 10% chance just in case. Shouldn't be a big deal. We'll have a lot of snow melt on Monday. Tuesday, we'll have even more snow melt, big time, even more than Monday. So a lot of this snowpack could very well be gone by midweek. Now, the giant snow mounds in the parking lots of the grocery store or of church or whatever, they're not going anywhere for a while, right? Those gigantic snowpacks or snow mounds stick around for 4 to 6 weeks. So they're here to stay. But when you're talking about your yards, your driveways, your neighborhood streets, that snow and ice is going to be gone by midweek, it appears. So we go 57 on Tuesday, and then the rain chances start to go up as we head into Tuesday night. And this is going to be a bit of an unsettled setup next week. But right now, it's not, in this forecaster's opinion, it's not screaming alarm bells. There's nothing to panic about, be it flooding or winter storm potential. I just don't see it. Having said that, we're going to be in a setup where you're going to have several disturbances kind of ride west to east nearby, starting Tuesday night, going into early Wednesday. That particular disturbance Tuesday night to Wednesday morning looks to be just rain at this point. But then we get towards the end of the week and a lot of different questions start to come up, from what kind of moisture will we have, to how cold is it going to be, to when is the moisture moving through, to is it going to be a wintry mix? So there's a ton of different questions really from Thursday onward as to how that whole setup is going to play out. When you look at Thursday into Friday, you see another disturbance, maybe kind of going more northwest to southeast. And that would allow for a little more cold air to be a factor. So as we get into Thursday night, Friday morning, there's a scenario where you could have a rain snow mix, where you'd have mainly snow up here to the north. And if the radar fills in, more rain to the south. Somewhat similar to what we had, what was that, Tuesday of this past week? That's possible again Thursday night into Friday. But you see that big hole in the map, right? Kind of working with two different pieces of energy again here. So there could be a gap. And again, all these details we just can't nail down yet. So we've got Tuesday night and Wednesday morning is rain only. Next system would be Thursday into Friday, what you're seeing here. That could also, or that could, I should say, have a wintry component with it. It wouldn't be major, but it would be worth watching at this stage of the game. Then you get into next weekend, and there's even more uncertainty here with next weekend. There's going to be another disturbance, a more organized system, basically a low, that will be moving through this part of the country next weekend, west to east. The question is, how far north or how far south does it go? The trend had been, well, I shouldn't even say there's a trend because there's not. There's two distinct camps, one of which is you kind of have a more northerly track. And for us, that would mean rain at a minimum. And depending on how much colder air is sinking in from the north, perhaps a wintry mix next weekend. So that's one idea. Or idea one, and then option 1A and 1B, right? But the trend today, at least with the European model, which I'm showing you guys tonight, is to keep the systems way suppressed to the south, like so, and potentially be more winter weather trouble for the Carolinas as we head into next weekend. Meanwhile, here at home, we stay high and dry. In the 40s, so a little cool, but largely above freezing with not much happening. So that's what the Europeans going with at this point. I don't have the matrix that I know you guys love to see on Snow Talk. I don't have that tonight, but it still has a little bit of snow coming into play next weekend, Friday and into Saturday. So long story short, no, we're not quite sure yet exactly how next weekend is going to play out. It could range from a wintry mix. It could be all rain. It could be absolutely nothing. All those options are still on the table for next weekend. We are more confident in seeing that rain, at least a few showers, Tuesday night to Wednesday. And we're also fairly confident in seeing some sort of a mix of precip Thursday into early Friday. How much rain? Not a ton. Not a ton right now, which is good. Most of us picking up less than an inch of rain over the next week. That's good because once all this snow melts away, you don't want to get a big heavy rainstorm that comes in because then the ground will be too waterlogged from the rain and the melting, and you could have a flooding issue. We had that last year around this time. So we want to avoid that again. And I think at this point, we will, at least should this forecast hold. So here comes the 10-day, and I'll open it up for questions again. Cold tomorrow, but above freezing, barely at 34. 47 Monday, 57 Tuesday. Most of the day Tuesday looks dry for now. It wouldn't be until Tuesday late afternoon into the evening when the rain chances start to go up. Wednesday's rain chance is mainly for the first half of the day. I think Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, we might get a little break. And then the next wave moves in Thursday. Could that have a wintry mix Thursday night? Possibly. And then next weekend, I don't know if I can draw on the 10-day. I can't. Oh, yeah, I can. There you go. Next weekend still just has a huge question mark with it. We could go from rain to dry to mix. Right now, we'll play it safe and say 30% chance for a wintry mix next weekend. But that will be adjusted a lot in the days ahead. All right. And it gets even warmer again heading into President's Day. on Monday and that following week. So a nice thaw on the way. One more cool, cold day tomorrow, however you want to call it. And we'll be on the climb from there. All right. What questions, comments, concerns, complaints do we have tonight? Aloha, John, from Hawaii. I'm jealous, and I think everybody else is in here. Hope you're enjoying your trip. Patty, can't wait for the warming trend. I agree. Hi, Sean. There you go. Good way to enjoy a Saturday night. Love it. Ethan, this is for Louisville, Kentucky. We're the NBC affiliate in Louisville, Kentucky TV market. We cover Central Kentucky and Southern Indiana. So that is who this forecast is for, if you're new here. Let's see. Good point here, Sean. Went out to Bardstown for bourbon hunt. Almost wiped out because the roads by buildings are straight ice from the melting and refreezing. Yeah, that's the biggest ice concern over the next few days, or at least tomorrow and into Monday, because you're going to go from above freezing during the day to below freezing at night, and that obviously allows any moisture or melting that happened during the day to refreeze at night. So definitely be careful with that, especially around buildings, sidewalks, even some side roads. They could have some patchy ice spots develop over the next couple of mornings. But as we get towards Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, you notice those lows will be right at or just above freezing, so that shouldn't be as big of an issue by then. But the next couple of mornings, yes, something to keep in mind. Let's see. More snow in North Carolina. It's possible. It's possible next weekend, especially if that southern track holds with that weekend setup. Let's see. Blog tomorrow or no? Well, weird set of circumstances tomorrow night with the Super Bowl on Wave. The boss will be working tomorrow night. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harnett will be here tomorrow night. So I'm not sure if we'll be doing a blog tomorrow night. I will not be here tomorrow night. So to be determined if we have a chat tomorrow night. I know it's been my tradition the last couple of years for the to do my own Super Bowl halftime show that's not controversial one way or the other to talk weather. But that will not be coming from me this year. So we'll see how things play out tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Tammy, so you think all the snow is going to melt? I think a significant portion of it will. The only snow that I think could stick around would be those gigantic snow mounds in those parking lots. Excuse me, but I do think a lot of the snow that we still have will be gone probably by Tuesday. And another thing to keep in mind with these higher rain chances coming in, the air is going to be more humid. And a lot of times more humid air means snow melts faster. So yeah, I think a lot of the snow will be gone by the early part of next week, Tuesday especially. Shonda, I'm with you. 40s over 20s any day. On a scale of 1 to 10, good question, Braden. How saturated do you think the ground's going to be after all the snow is gone? I'd say a 7 or 8. It'll be very, very soppy for quite some time, especially with those rain chances we have in succession next week. As long as we don't have a huge, heavy rain where we get like 2 to 4 inches of rain in one day, I don't foresee flooding issues. Could some rivers rise a little bit? Yes. And I do think some rivers will go up by this time next week. But for now, I think these rain chances are spread out enough and they're light enough to where the flooding risk would stay low. Hopefully that trend continues. And I hope that makes sense. Anita, good question. Is this warming trend going to last for a while? Well, when you look at the 2-week outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, you notice a good chunk of the country, including us, has a higher likelihood of being warmer than average versus colder than average. So, yeah, I do think this thaw will have a little bit of staying power. I am not saying winter is over because it is not. I think towards the end of February into even part of March, we'll get cold again. And that might be our last chance for maybe some big snow to come in. We'll see. But at least for the next 10 to 14 days, we're thawing out. We're thawing out in a big way. Right, Austin? 50s, get out the shorts on Tuesday. Sean, who do I have in the Super Bowl tomorrow night? I got Seattle. I do think Seattle's going to win. New England's had an awesome year. I'm not a Titans fan, but if I was a Titans fan, I'd be really questioning why my ownership decided to fire Mike Vrabel. Because it's his first year in New England and he's already in the Super Bowl. But that's the reason why the Titans are 3-14 this year, right? But yeah, they've had a great year, but I think Seattle's they're in a league of their own, especially on their defense. So I will take the Seahawks tomorrow night. Low scoring game. I got 24-14 Seattle. There you go. Mark it down. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we go? Austin, could we hit 60 at the end of the 10-day next Tuesday? It's possible, yes. Quite honestly, I don't want to overlook this upcoming Tuesday, Austin, because I do think some spots south of Louisville will hit 60 on Tuesday, especially if that rain doesn't come in until later in the night. So most will be in the 50s on Tuesday, but this upcoming Tuesday. But I do think some could hit 60. And yeah, there's a possibility we could get close to 60 again towards the end of the 10-day. Absolutely. So good question. Good questions all around tonight, guys. Hello, Jason. How you doing? Good to see you. 70 soon, please. I don't see 70s anytime soon, just yet. Not yet. So, yeah, that's where we are, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. We will be back on tonight at 11 after the Olympics on Wave News on the Old School TV. And I guess I'll see you guys next weekend since I will not be here tomorrow night. So enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the Olympics. A lot of people like the winter more than the summer, which is fine. I love them both. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little surprised that a lot of people like the winter, but that's good. That's very good. Nonetheless, enjoy whatever plans you might have for the rest of this weekend. I'll see you guys tonight on Wave News at 11. And then I'll see you guys next weekend, I guess. All right. There we go. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. And enjoy the thaw. We'll talk soon. Bye.